Well, I was just watching um, Aaron's live, so I have a feeling no one's coming. And I feel like I should reschedule. I realize now, I didn't even realize it was Friday. Friday nights, a lot of people go live. Sit here and chill out then. Nobody's here. It's okay. Y'all can watch this on the replay if you want. I'll just talk. I might, I might even just turn the camera around and watch the fire for a little while. Let's see if we can get this flat. My yard is not flat. Let's see. Let's set it so you guys can see the fire if we want. Oh, hey, somebody's here. You never know when Aaron's going to go live. And I actually wanted to watch that too, but I'll just have to watch it on the replay. Who's here? I got one person. I just wanted to do because I didn't get out as much this week in Austin as I wanted to. I didn't want to leave everybody hanging for 5 days. So about noon today, I was like, we have a fire pit. It's going to be nice. Heck, let's just do this. While trying to build the fire, I was about to reschedule. I finally caught. It's very windy right now. They left. It's okay. I'll talk like people are here, which is not hard for me. Makes my mouth look like it's black. That is so weird. And my eyes. So, since it's just me, I'm just going to flip around to the fire. Why does it never flip exactly when I hit the dang button? Okay, no, I didn't like that view. How do I make it just the fire? You don't see my ugly porch. Let's see. I will hold it. There we go. That's fine. Okay. So if nobody comes, somebody can put this on. A certain direction. So I'm like, well, this is a perfect spot. The house will block the wind. And it has, but for some reason it's whipping around in a half circle and hitting me every once in a while. As you can see, like there's no wind, but you can hear the wind in the trees over there. So I am missing most of it. It's about 17-mile-an-hour winds. But I understand nobody's probably going to come until Aaron is done. And I actually really wanted to watch that too because it was about Austin. I almost canceled. But like I said, I didn't want to just not show up because I hadn't gone back to Austin since Monday. And I just wanted to chat, kind of like we chat when I'm down in Austin, though it's harder because, I'm supposed to be protesting and I'm down there and I'm distracted and I want to stay on topic. I do talk about personal things, but, and I can't concentrate when I'm down there. I can't keep on topic. So, and a lot of times I can't see the lives because if I look away and I look back, they're gone. Has anybody commented? Because I'm worried somehow I have chat off or something. Can you just say hi? Just to let me know the chat's working. I'm worried that it's not. Let me see. No, not that one. Is that chat? Nope. Is that chat? Ah, here we go. Top chat. No, live chat. There we go. That should be all of them, if there is any. I had planned on having a beer too, but I didn't have time to go get any. So now I was just having my coffee and my water. Oh, maybe the wind's gonna die down. Hey y'all. I'm assuming most people are gonna watch this on the replay because Reese was live when I came outside. Reese and Tommy, and then Aaron came on 5 minutes before I did. And it sounds like he's going to have a long one because it's about the corruption, financial corruption with the Austin org, which I almost thought about, I have my other phone, and I almost thought about just playing it and we could listen to it together and talk about it. So, some of the things I wanted some responses on, and if you're watching this in the replay, I will check all the comments, and my email, it will be in the description. If you have any suggestions or ideas, feel free to send them. I have made a new email with Miss Kim on it because the email I've been using I created for something else. So eventually I won't be using that one anymore. I think the one person in here is probably Osa, because they haven't said anything. That'd be my one viewer. Hi. Hi. You can watch my fire. Oh, that's my neighbor's. Her nativity is still up for some reason. It's okay, it's pretty. Actually, I don't think there's a nativity in it. I think she left the arch up, which is pretty. I like lights. I don't care if people leave them up. Oh, the smoke's going to my eyes. Oh, I got 3 people. I really didn't think I'd get anybody with Aaron. But like I said, people are probably... I'm giving it a few minutes, and then I'm going to try to get on the topic. And I figured nobody wanted to talk or hear me talk. They could just turn it on to the fire while they're going to sleep or something. So I never thought 2-3 weeks ago when I started, I went live less than little over 2 weeks ago, and I was happy. I had the 56 subscribers. Aaron got me those to go live, but I had 59 and 3 dropped off, so I was worried too many would drop off and I wouldn't be able to go live. So I asked Pearl Snappy to put my channel in her chat, and I went up to about 100, and I said, okay, that's a good spot, so they don't go down enough, I won't be able to go live. And when I started this, I'm like, I thought I was just going to stand outside and hold a sign before I went down there, because all I'd really seen is the LA group doing their protest, and they're all together, they're just holding their phones. They're a little bit more confrontational than I am. I would just stand there with a sign. I think the signs help, because when you're yelling at somebody, you're yelling it's a cult, now I'll say that if I see somebody going in the door, but if they're not going in the door, just yelling things out may put people off, and they won't realize what you're there for. So I feel like having a sign, they can look at and they all look at it. Everybody looks at it because they want to know why you're there. They may not want to come up to you and talk about it, but they want to know why you're there. Whoops. So, wow, that sure did burn down fast. And I got the idea from Pearl Snappy's sign and some other people's sign to have channels on there. And what they do is everybody has a phone and a camera. So they take a picture of the sign. Instead of you trying to tell them of a channel to go watch, you have them take a picture of your sign. And they get those channels. I have Growing Up in Scientology, Laura FM, Mike Brown. Honestly, those are the only ones I could think of at the time when I was making my sign. Because I literally made my sign on the bench in front of the org. I had been planning to make a sign, but I didn't need one because the first time I went, I filmed Pearl Snappy with what she was doing. So I was busy doing that. And I thought that would be all I would do, is film her, film anybody else that was there. I really didn't even care about going live. And it ended up working out because I caught that guy accost her, and I caught the cops when they came at a different angle. Because, you know, she has her camera on her, so she may have turned it around. She don't get the whole big picture. So I really thought that was going to be it. And, you know, then so many people came to the opening. It was amazing. I couldn't believe. Even Pearl Snappy didn't know that many people. Because I said, well, who's coming on Saturday? She goes, I really don't know. She goes, a lot of people are saying they will, but I won't know till they show up. I'm like, okay. And then when I walked around the corner in the back, holy moly. It was awesome. So many people showed up. And a lot of people my age and older. So then I realized, okay, well, this may get a little bit bigger. We'll have to see how this goes. Well, the second time I showed up, I was alone. And like I said, I'm not like Pearl Snappy. I just feel weird yelling at a building. So I ran down to the co-op a few doors down. And luckily, I thought it's co-op. It's for university course materials, the charity. So I went in, and darned it, downstairs they didn't have school supplies. And I found Crayola markers, and I found poster board. So I folded it in half so I could hold it, and I made the sign. I made it 3 times. Luckily I bought 2 pieces. And the only channels I could think of was Laura FM, Mike Brown, and Aaron's channel, and that was it. Luckily, since then, somebody gave out a handout that's not even the size of half a piece of paper, and it's on nice printed out like a business card, but it's bigger. I hot glued that to my sign because it's got a lot more channels on it. I hope y'all can still hear me. I'm gonna go mess with this fire. So I had to have something to hold. So I was just standing there. I stood there for an hour and a half holding the sign. That was my second. I wasn't live yet, so like I said, I was just standing there. I looked like just somebody standing there. I had to do something. So, oh, it's getting in my eyes. It rained this morning. Luckily, most of our wood was in the barn, but only the big stuff. So my husband grabbed all these sticks from the yard, and I said, honey, they were rain on. Oh, they're fine. Oh, they're fine. You know, it took me forever to get this fire to light, because you got to light the smaller sticks first. And so I'm burning wood cutouts right now. Thank God they're not plywood. Some of them actually, that one is. That may not be so good. That's not. That is. Luckily, the wind's making it go somewhere else. Ah, don't fall. Let me fix it. So, that was my second time. So, I had no expectations of anything with this channel. I can't find my grabber. I have a flashlight. Ooh. There it is. That didn't blind y'all. As you can see, I don't know what I'm doing with this light. So. all I know is what I've learned from other channels. I have water jugs. In case something catches fire, I'm gonna have to use one. So, I never thought in a million years in 2 weeks I would have over 700 subscribers last time I checked. So now I'm like, what do I do now? I gotta do something different. So, yeah, there's 6. Now I've got to figure out why my live chat, you guys chat, and after a few minutes, I think it's because I don't have a lot of people in the chat. If there's no activity after a few minutes, it tends to go away, and I've got to figure out how to keep that from happening. So if while I was gone, you said something, it's gone now. If somebody were to just say hi, it'll all come back. I don't know how to make it come back. I'm sure there's a way. I just don't know. So, then I got up to 500 and I was like, oh my goodness. This is amazing. And I was happy there because when I was jumping around all the new Scientology channels in Chicago, you know, there was 108, 200, 500, 600. You know, everybody was like me. We're all new. And I'm like, I was happy with that. And, nope, sorry about that. I was checking to make sure it wasn't on. And then Lewis, who, if you don't know, I actually know in a way. We've met twice. I started out a follower of Popcorn Planet before I found Aaron. And so during the Johnny Depp trial. Well, then when they had a meetup in Vegas about a year and a half ago, even though I was bedridden at the time, I went anyway and wore a back brace, and pretty much other than the 2 events and the brunch that I scheduled, I was flat on my back in my room. But it was still so much fun. I'd never traveled anywhere by myself. And I met Lou's daughter lives in Southern California. And in September, I had to go help her with my new grandbaby, who I had not met yet. He was 10 months old. I raised my other 2, so it's been really hard since they moved away. And then Steph, who lives in England, who's part of the channel, announced the date she was going to be in LA to meet Lewis. She wanted to hang out with Lewis at his studio and all that. I'm like, well, I only have to extend my stay for only a week. So I got to hang with them again in September. And Lewis and I, we sat across from each other at one of the tables. He finally remembered that we met because Brandon and Bernadette and them, they were there. And then here just the day after my second time I was protesting before I went live, I found out that Andy was going to be in Houston. He's the head of Popcorn Planet, his channel. So we drove a 7-hour round trip and went down there and met with him. And that was a much smaller group. So I met with Andy 3 times and I met with Lewis twice. But when he was highlighting my channel and stuff, he didn't even really realize that at first. So I appreciated him for highlighting my channel at first. Like when the first time on his live, he didn't even remember me at that time. But he did eventually. And so since then, since the live, you know, I started getting more and more subscribers, which is awesome. And then I didn't even know about yesterday when he made it its own clip and redid, like, I think some of his speech over to it, I think. And because I woke up today and I signed in and I had over 700 subscribers. Last time I looked, it was, you know, in the 600. And I was like, holy moly. Then his film, I can't remember what it was called. Even grandmas get swatted. Grandma gets swatted. Cops called while she's live streaming, something like that. I'm like, that's where they all came from. So that's been really great. So now I've been thinking, even before that, since I got up to 600, I've been thinking more about, okay, I'm gonna need to do more than just protest. I feel like I owe it to everyone that's subscribed to do more than just stand outside in Oregon talk. Now, one of the things I had already come up with was I can't sing and make up words to songs on the spot like Pearl Snappy can. She has a talent. I can't yell and be confrontational. I can yell. I just don't want to be confrontational. I want to be approachable like I have been. But I remembered, oh, I was in the Army. And I loved cadence calling. Loved it. And it lends itself very easily to put whatever words you want. And I already started writing up, but my problem was, even though I understand the terms when they say them, I couldn't on the spot remember Scientology terms. And I need things that rhyme. So I have reached out to Oh No Nora, I reached out to Laura FM, and I reached out to DOA because he seems very creative and in the know. And AA Ron also, because I didn't check to see if anybody got back with me yet. So if any of you are interested in helping, I don't want to put the cadences on here yet until I'm ready to put them out. But I have the 2 cadences on, they were on YouTube, and they're not copyrighted because people just make those things up and they get changed over the years. I mean, one of them I was listening to, I was in the Army in the 80s. I'm like, that's not how you say that. And my husband's like, well, they change it. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So if you want to email me at sptv networks at gmail, and I will send you links to the 2 YouTube cadences that I'm working on. I'm gonna write them out too for I haven't done that yet for Laura and them. I just asked them if they would help. I'm waiting to see if they will, if they've seen my email. And I know they're all very, very busy. So it doesn't bother me at all if they don't get back to me right away. So that's something I thought might be fun. And I can sing it loud, and I'm not just yelling at somebody. I'm not just being confrontational. I'm just singing a cadence. And it there's a lot of ex-military that have moved down there. Oh, I asked my neighbor to keep their dog in, and he's being a jerk. I don't really talk to these back neighbors. It just was an accident that the one right behind me, that directly behind me, she was calling her cats in, and I said, hey, can you make sure you don't have your dogs out? She goes, oh, my dogs don't come out at night. I'm like, oh, I appreciate it. But yet, I was out here at 3:30 in the morning one time in my pajamas trying to find out which freaking dog was keeping me up at 3:30 in the morning, and it was that one. So I just let her know. Well, then it just so happened the other neighbor, kind of diagonal behind me, he came out, and I asked him nicely. I said, hey, can you do me a huge favor? And he's like, well, if they have to come out, they have to come out. I'm like, well, I'm not starting for another half hour. If you could just give me, 8:30 to 9:30, I'd appreciate it. We'll see how it goes. That's my other fire pit that we didn't use. That's one tonight. It's got Texas on it. Take some water. So I've been trying to cut. So then I watched Judy. I can't remember the rest of her channel. I watched her, I think, last night, and that was a lot of fun. She showed Kelly Copter's video where she put together all of the stuff that happened with AA Ron's assault and other stuff with voiceovers from all the different angles, and I didn't know that had been done. And that's a really good video. Go over to Kellycopter and watch that video, because my next suggestion, which someone told me to tell her, was if somebody would sit down and go through, and it's hard. I mean, they could just ask each creator to find their own stuff. All the video of all the false calls, or them talking about the false call, all into one video, there'd be no way you could not get how bad it really is. When you say, oh, we've been called 24 times, you know, you don't really get it. But when you see Aaron's video with all the different angles and all this stuff, you're like, man, this was screwed up when you see it all together. I can't do it. I've edited one video. Well, no. I think the ones I did of Pearl Snappy, I actually did on my phone, just on whatever's on the phone. I finally downloaded an app, and that's how I got when the police were called. I cut that out, and then I cut out a middle boring part. And so I can't edit a big video. I'm lucky I was able to edit that. So I'm surprised anybody popped in. And if this ends up being completely boring, obviously we won't do it again. And I know the time is weird. I tried to think, okay, late enough on the West Coast, 7:30, it'd be 6. See, I came on at 8:30, so 6:30. Hopefully, you know, dinner's over, and then 9:30 on the East Coast. So I was trying to get a good time, but then I realized too many people were going live at the same time. So, like I said, there's 6 of you here. I so appreciate it, but most people will probably watch this on the replay. I don't want to show my porch. Junkie. We used to have a young man that helped us, but he got sick. He can't help us right now. So everything needs to be done right now. Because my husband can't do it. He's retired Army. He's 80% disabled, and he has a hernia. And then me, I'm falling apart. So, about the channel. So I saw Judy go live. I mean, she only had 7 people in it, 78 subscribers, and like 7 or 8 people in the chat. But it was super fun. And but she was doing it from home, and I'm like, well, all I have is a phone, a crappy gimbal, and I did get some mics, but I haven't sat down and got to use them yet, since my phone speaker's been pretty good. So I thought, well, you know, now I'm thinking, so before I was like, okay, 100 subscribers, I'm good. I just want to go live when I'm protesting. I don't care about being monetized. I don't care about becoming a big channel, and I still don't. But the possibilities are there now. Now I have 700 and some subscribers. So now I want to do more. And I'm not sure what that's going to look like. I know one time I tried to get on Zoom on Popcorn Planet, and I couldn't figure it out and ended up not being able to do anything. So I have to sit down with my crappy laptop and figure out how to Zoom, figure out how to I'd love to do a call-in. I would have liked something like this to be more of a call-in type thing than just a live Q&A chat. Because I like talking. I don't have a problem at all. Pretty much anybody that meets me knows my life story in the first hour. So I have no problem talking. But I think it's more fun for the audience too, if you all can call in, we can talk, at least voice to voice, and not just typing. You know, there are lurkers that, you know, won't want to do that, but there are some that might. So that's something I want to get into. So I'll be looking at, so instead of getting a new gimbal, I told my husband's like, go get whatever you want. And I'm like, you know, I got to be careful. I'm looking at a $150 gimbal. And I said, well, instead of getting the gimbal right now, because my broken gimbal's been working just fine as a selfie stick, I'm going to spend the money to really get my laptop up to speed. It needs a better antivirus. It needs some other things. so that I can at least use it for Zoom calls and stuff like that. I'm gonna do, the reason I did this outside is I have nowhere in the house to do this. Nowhere that I would want that looks good, like one spot, except without just a wall behind me. So I do have a craft room. I love my craft room, but it's because I was better in the last 5 years. I haven't done anything in there. It's just been piling up junk, of course. So I need to get in there and clean it up, and I'm gonna make a space so that I can sit and I can do a live or Q&A or chat or have an interview, have somebody on. Of course, this isn't right now. This is down the road. Right now, I'm just focused on getting to Austin, because that's a big deal. I'm usually gone from my house about 6 hours at the minimum, with driving time, parking time, and if I spend an hour and a half to 2 hours in Austin. So that's why I can really, I mean, I went every day the week before the opening, but I knew afterwards I could only probably handle twice a week. I would love to go twice a week during weekdays and once on the weekend, because with my family, my husband's weekend is midweek, so weekends aren't really weekends for us. So Saturday didn't see a lot of traffic, but when Pearl Snappy went last Sunday, there was a lot. No, it was the Sunday after the opening, so I don't know if it was just because of the opening or... No, I didn't. Yeah, she went that day, and there was lots of people going in and out on the Sundays. So I don't know if that's because they say they have Sunday service or what. A lot of kids, a lot of moms with their kids, a lot of families with their kids, and young kids, 8, 9 or younger. And I was just like, I wanted to yell, "Don't go in, it's a call." But Pearl Snappy was the one that was there, and she did. She let them know she was there. So, one of the things part of the reason I thought about doing a Q&A before I did this one, oh my goodness, it's cold. I had to put the fire way far from me because when it was big, it was whipping right in my face. Let's see, I got up. I just got all the time that I'm going down there. Wow, I thought this wood would last a lot longer. I want it to be bigger and prettier. I like to look at fire. I like going camping, but we haven't got to go for a while. So the Q&A was for anybody that wanted to ask questions. I wanted to get feedback on what y'all would like to see in the future. If anybody's come in and out, I was saying that I have a couple of cadences that I'm going to change the words to, and if you're interested in helping, just email me. I forgot to add it to the description. It's in the description of all my other videos. I'll add it. Because I don't know enough of the Scientology jargon off the top of my head to figure those out by myself. I've reached out to other Scientologists so they can help me, but they're going to be good when they're done. It's going to be awesome. So do y'all want like watching the fire instead of watching just me, my face? Because I'd rather. I thought if anybody's watching this on the replay, oh, there's hubby. He's about to go to work. Must be 9 o'clock. He works at night. Don't shine the flashlight on my phone. Thank you. I don't know what it'll do, but I'm sure it'll do something.
weather?
When it got dark, it got cold.
Yeah, it did.
And the wind is look, that wood should have lasted. Matter of fact, I know you don't have a lot of time, but I'm gonna need a couple bigger pieces of wood. I've been throwing everything that's in there, the small stuff, but I didn't think the big stuff would burn down that much.
My toys.
Do you need a flashlight? Oh, that's dumb answer. Your flashlight's on in your butt. he has to carry a weapon, and he puts it in his back of his pants just to go to the car. And his light on his weapon always comes on in his pants. The thing is, that's not, you don't think that's a bad thing, but if it's on too long, it could get hot. It literally burn his butt. So, um, and any of you watching on the replay, give me any ideas in the comments afterwards, of ideas you like, what you see on other channels, anything like that. But for right now, I'm strictly gonna stick with the protesting. I think maybe once or twice a month, I might try to do something like this. And once I figure out Zoom, like I said, I think next time, if I do it in a few weeks, I would love to have a call-in show. Let me know what is a good day and time for you, and I will take a consensus. Flashlight down, please. I didn't want to put it on yet. Yeah, just put that one on. Well, if you want to put them on, go ahead. I had an awful time starting this fire because all the sticks were wet, even though the big wood wasn't. Took forever.
Yeah.
That's enough. I don't want it to get too big because then it goes in my face. That's why it's so far away. So, like I said, I'll take a consensus because I realized at noon today, I was like, I didn't even realize it was Friday. I'm like, you know what? I was going to go live at 5 o'clock and just figure it out, sit on my couch or something. I thought, you know what? I looked at the weather and I'm like, it's only going to be 53 degrees. I can pick a spot where there's no wind. We got 2 fire pits, actually. This will be fun. So that's why we're out here. Mainly because it looks better than inside. But I'm going to work on getting a space in my craft room, place to sit and talk. But I don't want to just sit and talk myself. And I don't want to do just a chat like this. I want to do a call-in show. Have a subject and let people call in on Zoom. So, like me, I haven't even figured out Zoom yet. So, y'all figure out your Zooms if you haven't already. So, I'd really like to do something like that. Thanks, hon. I was warm, but I had to move that thing way back there because the wind will whip around and whip it right in my face.
Mm-hmm.
So. And 5 minutes before I went live, so did AA Ron.
Of course.
And I wanted to watch it. It was about how they raised the funds for Austin. I guess it was done not very legally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm going to watch on replay. So, I should check and see if he's done yet. Because I know everybody likes to watch AA Ron. I do too. So, I almost thought about, if we'd have been doing this inside, I seriously would have just held up my phone with his show on and we could have just watched that together. I know he doesn't usually have long shows, but that sounded like it might be long. And then Reese was also still live after 8 when I came out to start the fire. So I won't be doing this on a Friday night again. I found out pretty much everybody's doing that. I understand other people have day jobs. As you can see, we don't. I could do a live at 3 in the morning. I wouldn't care. So nobody's chatting with me. And if you did say anything when I'm gone, because I don't have a constant chat, my chat disappears. I'm checking to see if everyone's still on. Of course. Well, that was short.
Where is Aaron right now?
That was only 18 minutes. That can't be right. Yeah. Did any of you watch the earlier one that I watched about the New Haven, Connecticut taking their tax exempt status away from their building? I'm like, every time something like that happens, that tells other cities that they can do it too. And that's just another step to getting these people gone. Just getting them gone. You know, if these people just treated their people better and didn't abuse children and didn't abuse the elderly, didn't abuse their executives, we wouldn't be here right now. I don't care what other people do. I don't care about other people's religions. I'm a devout Christian, but I'm not going to make everybody else be one. But when you do the things that they have done to people, gets people fired up. Got me fired up. And when I found out they were opening right next to a college, and that LRH bought that building 55 years ago knowing it was in front of a college, and then Chicago's near a college, it made me mad. But I have found that, you know, you didn't get to see me every time I was down there because I wasn't able to go live for a while, like the first week. So many of those young people are so savvy, are so on the internet, that even if they don't know what we know, like the deep dive that some of us have done, they know that it's bad. They know that not to go in there. They know not to have anything to do with them. They at least know that. So, and my analytics show that my audience is an older audience, and I'm totally fine with that. Everybody has their niche. The young people in LA, they're on TikTok. Now, I tried to download TikTok onto my good phone, and my phone started wigging out, so I immediately deleted it. But I have since bought a throwaway phone off Marketplace, and I didn't know it was a barracks building on the base until I got there. I thought it was housing. It was a soldier. I'm finding out it may not work for me. It doesn't look like it took very good video when I'm moving. It's like a $200 phone. So I'm going to try that, and I'm going to go tomorrow or Sunday. I haven't decided. I'm going to check with Pearl Snappy, because I actually like going at different days than Pearl Snappy, because we cover more time. We cover more turf. But I told Pearl Snappy early on I'd be happy just holding her camera or me filming her, so that's what I would do if I was down there. I would be filming Pearl Snappy and what I call the Pearl Snappy show. But I'm trying to up my game too, with the cadences and all that. I hope I didn't has anybody chatted? I haven't seen any chat at all. All messages are visible. There we go. Oh, I've had chats. Okay. Popping in late. Oh, that's fine. I knew Aaron was on. I totally understand not knowing what to do. I live so far away, I can't feasibly protest in person. Oh, yeah, Pup Groomer. I remember that. That's why I'm making the protest flyers and making them available to everyone. Yes. Thank you. Because I went to try to do the same thing a couple weeks ago, and I don't have Word, and I have to decide where my finances go. It's like, okay, new gimbal, Word for the computer, antivirus for the computer, because I don't use my computer. I do everything on my phone. It's more powerful. So, thank you for that. That is awesome. And I was going to do the same thing, and I had to do it in Word because I wanted to be able to, like you, I was just going to give them the link or whatever and let them change whatever they wanted to change for whatever they wanted to do. And so, thank you so much for that. As soon as, when they get done, shoot me an email or however you're going to It'll be in my description when I'm done. It's in all of my other descriptions. I went in and put it in. Now, I have since made a new email with Miss Kim in it because the SPTV email I made to go with the SPTV website that I bought that I haven't started yet because I haven't gotten any of the bigger channels to collaborate with me. And I suck at technology. I created a website for my craft business like 8 years ago, and it literally has sat there under construction because I haven't been able to put anything on it. So I really didn't do much there. I tried to put pictures of my stuff on, and it didn't work, and I'm still paying for it through Vistaprint, but I haven't done anything with it. Since they fixed my back, there's more possibilities to my life than as the first of the year. Before that, I really didn't have anything that I could really do. So as soon as my back was healed the first of the year and this all started up and then the Austin got announced, I was literally watching William and the Squirrel Squad, and I'm like, I can go down there and stand with a sign. I can do that. I found out I can't walk back and forth. That's why I haven't been back. I did that the last time on Monday, and Tuesday I went what I call produce shopping. I'll tell you about that another time, but I get my groceries delivered, and I don't dare buy produce from either store, Walmart or my local store, because it always looks like they used it in the soccer match. So I do without until I can go, which is only about once a month, usually after my doctor's appointment. Well, I was there for over an hour walking around, and after those 2 days together, I wasn't able to get back to Austin. I've been kind of recovering. But I am definitely going to try to get out tomorrow or Sunday. I'm trying to decide, 'cause I'm pretty sure Pearl Snappy will go on Sunday because it's the busier day. And I either want to go earlier than her and overlap or go later than her and overlap. But I can't go too late because I have to be home by 8:30, and depending on traffic, it can take 2 hours to get home. So I'm going to text her and see if we can figure that out. Let's see. I'm drawing a blank. I'm like Aaron. I don't want any dead air. How long have I been on here? Let's see. Let's see what time it is. 9:20. Oh, not even an hour yet. Alright. Is there anything y'all want to chat about? Anything you've heard lately? It's so hard for me to get to all the other channels and see what they're up to. I watched, they did such a good video of the aftermath of Chicago, or like what happened that day, and they put all together Utology. I'm not sure if they made the video. I think she did. I'm assuming it's a she because that's who I heard asking the questions. And put all of the incidents that happened to the residents of that area of Chicago, being accosted, not being let in to their home, and Danny and them were trying to push them off when it wasn't a permitted area. They didn't permit for it. They lied to the students and said it's from 6 a.m. to some other time when that's not what was on the permit. Well, they did the same thing in Austin. If y'all watched, they had that whole street blocked off next to the org, and they only permitted for, I think Pearl Snappy said, the southbound lane, not the northbound lane, and not that sidewalk, and not that property that belonged to the other church. But they let them have it anyway. And they knew they would. They know they would. It costs more. I know it costs more to get those extra areas. And they know they can weasel their way into, it'll be safer and better if we can have the whole thing. If I was the head of the city, I'd be like, hey, you only permit for half, that's what you get. Oh, and they had several thousand people there. My bull crap. we counted, almost counted. I can tell that looking at the chairs, there could have been more than 150 chairs. There were a few standing up, but the area that they had blocked off wouldn't hold 1,000 people. They wouldn't, standing room only, that wouldn't have held 1,000 people. Let alone the 3,000 or whatever they said that they had. Oh, if I do this again, I'm definitely gonna have a beer ready. But did any of you see me on Lewis Nerd Report? That was, I saw it today, and I was like, I sent it to my kids, and I said, I'm famous now. I'm famous. I love how Lewis redid it, because he was doing it live with on the spot, and he went back and redid it and pointed out a lot of the things that I wanted to point out in my comment. The fact that what the cops were saying. That's kind of what the Q&A was supposed to be for. It was about when the cops were called. If you guys had any questions, it was hard to hear things. But I didn't know it was going to be put out on Nerd Report and have a lot of those questions answered. Oh, there's the wind. Woo. Thank God the whole wind isn't hitting me, because it is about to blow my trees down. But there was things like, it was hard to hear, and I didn't know how to react. I thought I would be prepared. I really wasn't that, stressed out. I was just like, this is interesting, because they didn't say my name. They didn't come after me. So I'm like, oh, well, this really doesn't have anything to do with me. Well, it wasn't till a couple days later that I started seeing all these other protesters got swatted the same weekend. Tell me that wasn't coordinated. I'm trying to think. That was, yeah, because I got back from that day and I started watching all the Chicago protesters. So that was still going on. So they didn't really get swatted because of that was going on. But and I think it was awful funny that, when I watched Pearl Snappy, except for the days that they were already sitting inside, they didn't go inside the first couple days. And that guy didn't go in the whole time I was there. And I edited it out because of the shorter video of when he left. Because you can see when he leaves. When he leaves, he's leaning against the wall. He sees something and he leaves. He was called inside. And one of the viewers said exactly what time it was. It was like so many minutes after the hour, but I pretty much figured it was exactly 5 minutes before I heard the sirens. He didn't go in when the cops got there. And I think they did it on purpose. And I think that's why they don't have a guard this week. Because of what I said. I said that having a guard, and I said it, I think in the chat with Pearl Snappy, I said having a guard outside keeps us safe, because they can't say we're doing something we're not doing. It keeps us safe because they can't call in a false call. But they did. They did it. They didn't call it on me, but they called it in my general direction to say, hey, yeah, we know you're there. And it didn't really set in until after I saw the other SWATs. Now, those were on them, though. They got put in cuffs. Oh my God, if they put me in cuffs for 45 minutes, I'll die. Both my shoulders need surgery. And my back, my neck, my fibromyalgia, so I'm hoping, because I'm old and quiet, that I'm hoping that's probably not going to happen. But now they don't have a guard. So But I used to work at a police station. So that shit starts to happen. I'm going to be like William. I'm going to be down there at the police station every time. Every single time. If they try to pull that crap again. I'm going to be the buzzing in their ear. Like William is. Because eventually they're going to get tired of it. And they're going to get tired of people calling in false calls. Because I guarantee you the next time... Okay, I take this back. I was going to say the next time they're not going to show up with 6 cars. You know? Because if you look... Because I'm still learning on how to take the camera where I'm looking. I was looking a different direction. But you can still... Did you see the 2 cops that walked up before the other guy? They're just do walking up. Like nothing. The other guy, who seemed more in charge, came up all amped up. Like, hey, did you hear gunshots? So what were the first 2 cops doing? Were they not there for the same thing? And there could have been 7 cars. So when I counted, you can see 4 along the street. And then there's, I think, 1 double parked. I can't remember. And then right as I say that, one's coming around. And Lewis, he got that. He slowed it down. But I didn't notice till he slowed it down that the fire truck was there. I never even looked at it. I was too busy, you know. And I haven't really looked back at the videos before that. You know, I just clipped it out. So, but my husband, he used to work security in one of the worst hotels in Austin. And he's like, they wouldn't come out even when there was blood. I said, yeah, but they probably would have come out in force if there were shots fired. But I don't know. And he's like, yeah, I never had that happen. So, but he even was telling me that there was construction going on because hotels are always near the freeway. And there was a cop there in his car, you know, the security, he was working the security job. Now, the way those work, and what a lot of people don't understand, is they get upset about taxpayer money. I guarantee you none of these people are getting paid by the city. They're getting paid by Scientology. That's why the LAPD is in Scientology's pocket, because Scientology doubles LAPD's salaries. I'm going to get into that a little bit later. That's something we can talk about. I got a couple of theories on that, what happened to Aaron. So what it is so my husband now, he works in Waco, and he works someplace that when they have like a festival or something special going on that they don't have enough guards for, my husband's on the same email list or text list where they put the jobs out. So he'll see, hey, who wants to work such and such a day at such and such a time for $50 an hour? My husband only makes $20 an hour. So that's why these cops, and I don't understand how they're allowed to use their police cruisers and their uniforms sometimes. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. When it's not a duty job. And so and my husband is confused about that too. Very good idea, Pup Boomer. Very good idea. Yeah, I was yeah, when I go out and stuff, I might take walks. I need to take walks. I need to get in better shape after being in bed for 5 years. I'm so out of shape. So that's a really good idea. Thank you. So I'm gonna take walks, and I'll do that. I'll film, just not live. I'll just film and then look back and see how I did. That's a very good idea. I might even talk to myself. They'll just think I'm nuts around here. The nutty old lady. I just hate my neighborhood though, because we don't have sidewalks. I wish we did. But I don't correct people in the chat because, you know, some people are fired up about it, or it just, you know, I don't want to sound like I'm preaching to everybody. So sometimes I don't say anything about it. I just let it go. But that's how that works. When my husband first started doing security, he was part time and he was doing the clubs on the weekends. And they had a constable sit, even though they had hired security, they were still paying a constable to be there because of the fact that stuff would go down that security wasn't prepared for. My husband was the crime dog. He always found the drugs on people, so they would haul him over to the cop, and he would decide whether they were in trouble or not. Usually, they just took the weed away and they got rid of it. Probably like in the wind or whatever or something. Because they had people beat somebody with their shoe till they were bleeding, and the cops still didn't take them in because nobody pressed charges. I don't know how this stuff works. But anyway, I digress. So they were making extra money. They even talked about it. Let me drink some water here, guys. So who do I have here? If it's in the analytics, I don't know how to find it. I have 5. I know Pup Groomer's here. I saw Vortex when it first came on, but I'm not sure if that person stayed. If Vortex stayed. If you're just a lurker, that's okay. I know at least one of you is Osa, though. Or something. I don't know that. I still don't think I'm a big enough channel for them to watch me. Hi, Carrie. Hi. Do you like the fire? I thought it'd be more fun than just looking at my face. And I thought, if somebody really wanted to, they could just watch it with the sound turned down and just look at the fire. I do things like that sometimes when I want to go to sleep. Did anybody here watch Aaron's show before mine? Or same time as mine? I'm really interested in what he had to say. I watched it for 5 minutes, so I was a minute late. I was sitting here watching that, and I'm like, oh, I have to go. About the fraudulent funds used to either to renovate or get the org started. So, man, I was like, man, that's right up my alley. Yep. Yeah, I go to sleep. Oh, suggestion. 432 megahertz. I've found 432 megahertz videos on YouTube. That is the megahertz, the level for sleep. They have different levels for healing, different levels for different things, and I've found those work. It can be anywhere from just music to meditation music with that megahertz in there, or I really like the singing bowls. I can't do anything too annoying when I'm trying to fall asleep. I've also Aaron, if you're in the member chat, we were talking about it last night, what he watches when he goes to sleep, and he was talking about bedtime stories for adults, and I like those if it's a good voice. There's one guy that has British or Scottish voice I really like. And oh, how did my dogs get outside? Oh no! Did he not close the door? Oh no! See, my big dog does not understand she's over 50 pounds. Okay, guys, you can stay. You can't bark, and you can't jump on a camera. Ooh. I'll give him a minute. It's too cold for them. My pity, she has no hair. She might as well be bald. If it's called hair, it is so short and tight that she doesn't look like she has hair. She gets cold. My littles, they get cold. I have two little ones. Chihuahua mix and a very much a mutt, but she has the coloring of a Boston Terrier. Her parents belonged to our local homeless man, and in 2019 he got diagnosed with cancer, and I heard that he needed help. My service dog's a pity, same way. Yeah, my big dogs are only pitties now. That's all I'll have. Um, I had the same attitude in a way about pitties for a while until my daughter got one from the shelter, and then uh, she moved somewhere she couldn't take him, and he was already part of the family because she would come do laundry and bring him over. He was the most sedate dog, not sedate pity, sedate dog I've ever seen. He would literally just sit there and stare at the corner of the wall. Just so laid back. My little chihuahua at the time, she passed last year. Um, she went when she was a puppy, so it was about 11 years ago. She would bark at him when he had a bone until he would just drop it, give it to her, and leave. So after that, then we went to the shelter and got one. After he was gone, well, we had him a few years, and then she ended up taking him back. So, and I was fine with that. Because at the time I had 4 chihuahuas and a pity, because I had rescued 2 senior chihuahuas too. So all my dogs are street dogs found on the street or from a shelter. Anyway, they have been the best dogs. Now, Daisy, my current one, she's part boxer. And all the things I don't like about her are boxer related. She doesn't understand personal space. In fact, I don't know if you can see her in the dark. She's right there. Daisy. Where, Daisy? Can we see you in the dark? Nope. She's got the coloring of a boxer, and she does the paws. She hits you with her paws and doesn't understand how strong she is. And that's our only problem. And she's not delicate around the little I call them the littles. I gotta get this fire going. It's getting cold. Oh, so anyway. Well, let's go back to something that people haven't quite figured out yet. Why that Talman guy, the NLAPD, why all those cops were out there, and why, with him not having a senior position, that he's not in charge, he's only a sergeant, why they all waited for him to get there, and they deferred to him. And I thought this is when William Good showed their salaries and talked about how they showed that their regular salary is $65,000. I just remember this one person, that was their salary. And then overtime was another 60 something thousand, and then like another 10,000 miscellaneous. Well, the way they work is their overtime is when they do the events for Scientology, but they don't get paid directly. They pay to the department, and then the department just pays them for their overtime. Well, personally, I think, one, when they pay the department, somebody's getting their hands greased up higher. That's why nothing's getting done. And I think Talman, he was the one that showed up for Aaron, right? They've showed how buddy he is with Scientology. I think he's the one that decides who gets the overtime when the jobs come up, because the way I don't know the way they come out. I will bet you I'll bet you he's the one that decides who gets those jobs, and that's what he holds over the other officers. Money. So I'm gonna email William about that, and maybe Aaron. He might not get my email. So, my idea. But, you know, people like William and Aaron and stuff, they get a lot of emails, so it's really hard to get through sometimes. Because, so I was saying that the email, SPTV networks at Gmail, I bought, so when SPTV started, who here has been here since before or around the time SPTV started? It's been about a year. Um, if you're not, so one day, so there was just, you know, you had a few channels, and then Aaron started telling everybody, he changed his format. January of 2023. I had watched him before that, but what I had been doing is I went back a year and binge watched his videos to get caught up. Because he popped up on my feed one day and I didn't know anything about Scientology. And I watched one video and I was like, what? So in 2023, in January, he said, I'm changing it up. He says, I'm not editing videos anymore. I'm going to try to go live 2 or 3 times a day because he found that was easier, just to go live and not worry about editing because it just takes too long. And he was going to make sure that David Miscavige rued the day he had a YouTube channel. And then not long after that, after he started telling people that anybody could make a channel, somebody in the chat said, oh, we're all SPs, we should be SPTV, and bam, there it was. And they even had to go back and find out who started it. I don't even know. I would love to know. So I remember him saying that Scientology likes to go buy up all the domains of people. Out of all the theories, that's definitely one of the better ones for sure. Thank you. That's what I think, for real. Because when I didn't think that, I didn't get it either until Aaron showed him singing at their Christmas party in a cop band and being buddy and friends, not just standing outside guarding. And that's when that started to formulate in my mind. I am definitely a person that is into conspiracy theories, if it makes sense. But so anyway, SPTV. So right back then, I was really only watching Aaron, Mark, and Claire, and that's really all because I had time for, because I was still very involved with Popcorn Planet. But then all these channels started popping up, and they were small, and I wanted to support them, so I started branching out and watching more and more channels, and I remembered what he said about Scientology buying up all the channels. I'm like, man, as soon as they figure that out, they're going to buy it. So I did. So I just went into Google, and I couldn't get SPTV. It was already taken, not by Scientology. I checked. It was some entity, some business, I don't know. So I couldn't get that. So what I did get was sptvnetwork.org. So I bought it. It was like $12 for the year or something like that. And I super chatted Claire. And she's like, oh, that's a great idea. Email me. I've got ideas. And so I did. And I also mentioned, I think that, you know, so she didn't get back with me. So I waited. And so then I super chatted again. And same thing. And I said, I'm hoping you'll have a tech-savvy fan that can maybe help me or take this over, because I am not up to running a website. Because when I tell you what I want to do with it, it's going to take a lot of time. And I'd like to have a group of people that really work on it. Because again, nobody is the leader of SPTV. I don't want to be the one in charge of the SPTV website. I want it to be a community thing. So they had thrown around the idea of a cruise for SPTV. And so I super chatted again. I said that would be something that we could put on the new page, you know, upcoming events, new channels, orgs opening, you know, things people need help with, just anything, everything. And that's what I want to do. I want to have a section, safety guidelines for protesting. And Aaron said he doesn't want to tell people how to protest. You know, some people are more loud and stuff. That's fine. But, you know, I'd love to have a discussion with. But what made me think of that, I was watching Chicago. And I know I've talked about this in my protest, but like Aaron said, he said, not everybody watches you. They might be new. I don't know if anybody's new. I think y'all are probably my OGs, so. But, hey, come here. Come on. One tiny man. Come on. Come on. Chichico boy. He's my newest. We call him Tiny because at the time he's smaller than my other small dog in stature, like tallness, but he's a pound heavier. But we got him from a rescue. He had just finished his heartworm treatment. He's doing really well. He's a Chihuahua mix. So anyway, website. So when I got back from protesting Saturday, I just put in live, and all the channels that were live in Chicago popped up because obviously Scientology stuff's gonna come on my feed. So I just popped in and out, went from random channel to random channel to random channel, subscribed, and just watched what they were doing. Well, I saw 2 different girls go down this alley alone. And the whole time, me and somebody else in the chat was like, do not go down that alley alone. I don't care that it's daylight. The problem is there is a big to-do going on. The predators are going to be out. The bad actors are going to be out. Oh my gosh. But one of them, she stopped and she turned around. She says, I know you're following me. The thing is, even if they're live, even if they know they're live, the way the world is right now, you can't trust that to be your protection. Then I saw Leah, Danny's girlfriend. She was trying to go around to get to the other side of the block or street or whatever. And it wasn't enough, but she was alone for a good minute or two to get around. And I'm just like, Leah, don't. Because she's, you know, on their radar. And so we need to tell people, don't go down alleys. Don't go somewhere where nobody can see you. That's one thing about where I'm at. I've watched, you know, Denver and other places where... Okay. Carrie said she's probably the newest subscriber, but she's been here for a while. So you probably know enough. But anyway, the website, and that's when and then we can have links to the people who have made lists. Oh my gosh, here comes Stacey. They're behind the shed barking at something. There's a cat around here that loves to mess with my dogs. He will sit right on the other side of the fence and make them bark. So once I get, I was saying earlier, my laptop needs help because I do everything on my phone. The only thing I do on my laptop is I play these online, adventure games. Hey Judy, I was talking about you earlier. I was talking about last night and how you gave me the idea that maybe I could sit inside. Kind of gave me the idea to do this because I didn't get to make it to Austin since Monday, and my goal was twice a week. So I didn't want to leave everybody hanging. But when is your, you said same time. Exactly what day and time is your murder mystery show going to be? I'll probably get a notification. But I was talking about a website. I bought the domain name. It's probably been a year now since I bought it. Because I didn't want Scientology to buy all the SPTV domain names. So as soon as I get my computer straight here in the next couple days, I'm at least gonna start it so that people knows it exists. I'm gonna, get a. There was basic templates that were available through Google. Okay, got it. That's 8 Eastern. That's 7 for me. That's good. Definitely keep that. I know now not to stream on Friday night because everybody was streaming when I tried to come on. But I only planned it at noon today. So I need more of that fire. I'm cold. I brought a blanket though. The temperature's probably dropped by now. So, I also mentioned, since you just came in, it went away. That's how fast it goes away. I was looking down to get my blanket. I looked up, I saw it, and left. That's, oh, I know. Oh, yeah, I heard. I use StreamYard, which is free. I've heard about StreamYard a lot. Oh, in September, well, do you know where they're going to go? Because the Caribbean, the best time to go to the Caribbean is February, March. I think September might be hurricane season. I'm not sure. I know years ago, because I'm in Texas, they leave out of Galveston. And so, because it was close, I was looking at Caribbean cruises, and I remember the weather was best in February, March, April-ish, like early spring. So I might can do that. I mean, I mentioned earlier, if you weren't here, before SPTV, just before I found Aaron, during the Johnny Depp trial. So I know it's been a year and 9 months, 10 months now, because, no, it was longer than that. It's been almost 2 years. I became a member right around the Johnny with Popcorn Planet, and I've flown to Vegas. Oh, it disappeared again. I have got to figure out how to keep the chat up, because when you don't have a constant chat, it disappears. I flew out to Vegas to see Lewis and Andy and all them, and I was already in Southern California, but I extended my stay. I rented a car to go to Burbank, and then when Andy was in Houston, we drove 7 hours round trip to go meet up with him. And I talked about this before too. I've been talking about we need to have an LA meetup and a Florida meetup, and I think eventually I'm just gonna, when we get the website. Oh, here we go. All info can be found on community tab. Ciao. Will you Oh, that's Atlantic. Okay. Depends on where they're going. I would love to go. Yeah, see, we've got all these community pages, and that's where the website comes in. We can link to all of that. Yep. I didn't do anything in Vegas though. Luckily, the meetups weren't on the Strip. I wasn't really interested in the Strip. And because of my back at the time, because this would have been November before last. Or no, not November. October. Whatever. It was on Fremont, and because pretty much other than the meetups, I was in my room laying flat. So, but now that I'm feeling better, I would love a cruise. I've never been on one. I've always wanted to. I just don't. I'm gonna have to get one of those cabins on the very inside, because in the car I get motion sickness if somebody in front of me is spinning around like a kid. I don't even have to be moving. So I am a little concerned about being on a boat. I need to figure out if there's, I know we went down to South Padre Island. I need to find out if there's like a charter boat I can go on, just to see if I can handle it with the Dramamine. Um, but yeah, that would be awesome because they talked about that when uh, Mike Rinder and Mark Headley and Claire Headley and Aaron, they they all went on a cruise together. They were like best friends, and they'd been on several cruises together. And that's why they mentioned, oh, we could do an SPTV cruise, but it never really went anywhere. So, like I said, I'm gonna start the website here in the next, hopefully in the next week. I've got to get antivirus and everything downloaded onto my computer because I literally don't touch it. I play these adventure games that are one person because I get stressed out. I can't do fighting games or anything. Oh, it's funny because we were transplanted because of the army, and this area doesn't have a lot of an accent because we're all from somewhere else. And Austin is the same way. It's not really, Austin is not Texas. Everyone says that, even people that live there. Offered her services to help plan it then, but it didn't go anywhere, and she went ahead and planned one. Yeah, well, same thing happened when I was with Popcorn Planet and we had the Vegas trip. Everybody was like, because people were getting there. We had people flying from out of other countries, and um, they everybody was like, well, maybe we should meet up, maybe we should do this, maybe we should do lunch. We're gonna be here a day early and we need something to do. So you know what I did? I went and I found a restaurant that did a brunch or breakfast, and I liked where it was located. It had a parking lot, and I just announced it on Telegram and said I got off the plane, I went, got my rental car, went to Walmart, got a few things, and went to the restaurant. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so when I leave and I go to like Waco, or I was in Texarkana, wow, that's such a culture shock. They've got that twang. They have got that heavy accent. But yeah, everybody here, if you meet somebody, you're like, "So where are you from, really?" I mean, even my daughter, even as she grew up her whole life here, she was only 6 months old when we got here. She was born in California and we were stationed there. And my son was born in Georgia. But their home has been Texas. My son was 5 and she was 6 months. I never thought we'd be here this long. Um, my husband, I've had 2 duty stations in 21 years. Everybody looks at me like I have 2 heads when I say that. And it happens to some people. We've met other people. When you get to Fort Hood, now Cavazos, I just can't say it. It's been 30 years. Sleep turned on till the next day. What? Am I still here? Can you still hear me? I don't know what that... I got weird notification that said sleep was turned on until the next day. Okay, good. Weird. I'm only going to be on here a few more minutes. I see now it's been an hour and a half. I really only planned on an hour. But... Oh, the Army. So he got stationed here 17 years, retired in 2010, and our daughter was still in high school and we had our house. So we stayed, but I've hated the weather here. I've never been able to go outside. I'm very susceptible to heat-related problems after basic training. I was in South Carolina in basic training, and they were having a heat wave. And I'm from up north. So I ended up having heat exhaustion 3 times. Because the first time they were having me rake the sand in the pugil stick course. And then so since then I've been susceptible. And so this was like the worst. I'm an outdoors person. I lived outdoors. And I was a Girl Scout leader. And Girl Scouts shut down for the summer. Because you can't do anything. So we were only active during school, and we would camp in like May and April, my daughter tried to camp with church. The girls tried to do a youth camp outside in July, and my daughter had to leave early. She got sunburned and she was uncomfortable and it was hot. I just don't know how they did it. Some people love it. I just can't do it. It's 105 sometimes. Um, but I don't want to go back north either. My daughter didn't see snow till she was 8 years old. We went home because we always went home in the summer. That's when he would get leave. Well, there was one year that we were able. Actually, my husband wasn't here. It was just me and the kids. We drove home for Christmas, and she got to see snow. So that was pretty cool. But her dumb butt moved to Southern California because when you live here, I tried to get her not to date soldiers, although he wasn't a soldier, but he was here for other reasons. You always meet somebody from somewhere else. Yeah, I'm sure that's really good for that. Yeah, I have to say, yeah, the cold does get to my bones and my joints. I'm not getting enough of the heat from this fire right now, but it's only in the low 50s, so I do like the cold when it's like this. I told I bought a screened room just to put out here, so because the mosquitoes here are horrible. So I'd have somewhere to sit outside in the evenings, even when it's cold or even when or it's hot. So he hasn't put it up for me yet because every time we turn around, there's bad weather because we have tornadoes in the winter. I mean, because it gets hot. I mean, it was in the 80s when I was protesting, which was nice. I didn't have to bundle up or anything. I saw Pearl Snappy was out today. I think she was a bit chilly. So anyway, if anybody has any suggestions, I may start a Facebook page so we can chat easier than trying to just leave comments and stuff, so people can post and we can have discussions. I might do that. I'm not on Facebook. I'm so much on YouTube that I don't have time for Facebook. If I go on there, I'm finding out that a niece or nephew, they've had their babies, or somebody got married, because nobody calls anymore. They're like, oh, well, you'll just find out on Facebook. Well, no, we don't, because not all of us are on it. So I might do that. Anyway, like I said, any suggestions, please feel free. I learn a lot when people suggest. Yeah. Well, and then again, I'm not sure how to set up websites, but maybe there's a place we can have some sort of chat. I don't want nothing to do with this Discord thing everybody's talking about. So maybe we can have a better, healthier chat area somehow. I don't know if that's possible on a website. So if anybody has suggestions about, the website, like I said, I'm gonna try to start it this week. At least get it on the board so I can start getting suggestions and we can start getting things on it, and maybe I can get 2 or 3 other people that could help me with it. Because I just with the protesting and my health, I just can't do it all the time. Yeah, I've heard that. My husband doesn't have Facebook. Our Facebook has both of us on it, and he did have it, but he doesn't bother with it anymore. We used to talk to friends from school and stuff. Quick note, I try not to get too personal when I'm protesting and stuff, but there's nothing else to talk about sometimes. My husband and I have been together since high school. We were off and on after I graduated for 2 years. And then when we were 20, we got married. So it's not like, oh, it's the only person I've ever been with. I had boyfriends before him, and I had boyfriends in between. But we realized, we were we wanted to be together. And he had just gone in the army. So, um, that's how that is. So, let's see. We'll both be 55 when I turn this month. And we were 16. So 39 years, not 40 yet. I thought it was 40 already, but it's not. So, well, we knew each other 40 years ago, but I'm winding down. I appreciate you guys coming. It was fun. It got me outside. And so is going protesting. Like I said, I hole up in my house, and that's not healthy. So it's starting to get me out. It's starting to get me active. I hate to talk about politics because you either agree, and if you disagree, yelling at somebody is not going to get them to change their mind. So there's no point. I'm glad. I'm glad y'all like that. Maybe we'll do it next time too. But it'll be long. It won't be too long. I can't do it. If my camper wasn't in need of repair, I thought about just taking the camper out for the weekend and doing it there because it's a little difficult. Well, not now that we got it set up, but because it was windy, I had to pick a certain spot so the house would block the wind. But yeah, I like to watch fires. I figured if anybody later wanted to watch on the replay and they didn't really want to hear me drone on, they could just turn the sound down and watch the fire. That's why I tried to keep it big. So, well, like I was saying, I don't know who came in and out or if you were here at the beginning, but one of the reasons I wanted to have this chat is my channel exploded in the last few days. It gave me ideas that maybe there are other things that I could do. And Judy, if you're still here, when I watched you, just chatting at home, because, all I had planned to do is protest, and that was it. That was all I was going to do. But watching other channels kind of branch out a little bit more and do interviews, that's something I had wanted to do in the beginning before it opened. I wanted to go around campus and give out flyers and talk to people about it opening to get the word out to the students that it was coming and to stay away. But found out I didn't need to. Pretty much 80% of everyone that came up already knew, walked by and gave me thumbs up, said, yep, they suck. And there were just a small percentage that I went over everything I could think of to teach them what I could in a short period of time. I know sometimes I get things wrong, and I try to get them as I'm a very detailed person. So I try to keep the details straight. So, all right, y'all. I'll see you next time. I will be out sometime this weekend, either tomorrow or Sunday. And I thank y'all for coming. Bye.